Each spring, the students, families, and staff of the Waverly community come together for one special evening, that is, World Language Night. World Language Night is a unique celebration of the languages that are studied and spoken at Waverly High School. It is an event that involves months of tedious preparations by hundreds of students. It is our department's Oscars, Nobel Prize, and Super Bowl all rolled into one. The origins of Waverly High School World Language Night can be traced back several decades. Early World Language Nights took place exclusively in the high school cafeteria. Families gathered for an informal potluck supper, followed by a word of encouragement by a keynote speaker and a brief program of student-led activities, including trivia contests, sing-alongs, and puppet shows. Over the years, World Language Night has evolved into a must-see event, leading to a standing room only cafeteria showcasing a variety of ethnic food and festivities. Strolling mariachi bands, French mimes, and German rock bands are now commonplace at the international potluck dinner preceding the show. The cafeteria is decorated with flags, bilingual posters, and educational placemats produced by Waverly students. World Language Night is the pinnacle of World Language Week. The purpose of World Language Week is to showcase our program to the student body at large via a series of fun and educational activities. Language Swap Day is an opportunity for bilingual Waverly students to teach their classmates their native languages. Basic greetings and the alphabet are common themes for these lessons. I Speak My Language Day is a school-wide event testing the patience of teachers throughout the building.
Man, these kids are speaking all kinds of different languages, and I thought I could handle this.
Each world language student starts the day wearing a badge saying, for example, I speak only Spanish. Throughout the entire school day, he or she must speak only Spanish, even in his or her math, science, and English classes. Any student caught speaking English loses his or her badge. A prize is given to each student who successfully completes this grueling day. Musical performances in the lunchroom and daily listening post trivia games are also common during World Language Week. In recent years, the high school World Language Department has hosted the language fair on the Friday morning of World Language Week. 5th and 6th grade students take a simulated field trip to a foreign country where they must exchange currency, order food at a restaurant, play bingo, and carry out other communicative tasks in their native language. The high school students play the roles of local bankers, waiters, and tour guides. On the afternoon of World Language Night, teachers, administrators, and board members serve as judges in the annual art competition, which can include French stained glass, German silhouettes, and of course, the piñatas. The modern era of World Language Night began in 2003, when the high school auditorium became the new home for the entertainment portion of the evening. Puppet shows evolved into Broadway-like performances. Keynote speakers gave way to international A-list celebrities.
Miss Ani Burr.
Traditional piñatas morphed into life-size detailed masterpieces. A sparsely filled cafeteria conceded to a near-capacity auditorium. The program always kicks off with a recap of the events of World Language Week, plus footage of the behind-the-scenes preparation for the show. Music and dance performances often follow. A staple of the show is its on-stage performances of skits and plays, performed in various languages. The Wizard of Oz, Cinderella, Star Wars, Shrek, Snow White, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and Aladdin are just a few such acts. Student-produced films also play a vital role in World Language Night. Some, like Pirates of the Caribbean and Lord of the Crepes, a takeoff from Lord of the Rings, are purely for entertainment. Other films, like Indiana Jones and the Search for the Rosetta Stone, offer a deeper message. In this story, Indiana Jones takes a job teaching history at Waverly High. He is amazed to see so many Waverly students can speak multiple languages.
In fact, there
He
is.
learns that they know
It
the
is not
secret
unlike
to the
Holy
Rosetta Stone,
Grail
which
or
grants the
Fountain of
power to
Youth
become
from your previous
multilingual.
quests.
What am I looking for?
The Rosetta Stone.
You mean it really does exist?
That's right, Indiana. It's not just a computer program. It's an actual ancient artifact.
Indiana embarks on an adventure taking him all over the world in search of this treasure. The journey ends where it began, at Waverly High School, where Indiana discovers that the power to become multilingual was right under his nose all along, simply by enrolling in a world language class.
Here at Waverly High School. By enrolling in a world language class, you can learn how to talk to all of these people.
Reality shows and game shows also serve as a vehicle for showcasing community service projects and providing multicultural awareness. Fear Factor, The Apprentice, and Dancing with the Stars were some of the favorites in past years. Many years, Waverly High students volunteered to teach a course in Spanish to their elementary school counterparts at Winans and Colt. On one occasion, they were challenged by their young students to participate in the World Language Night edition of Are You Smarter Than a Waverly Fifth Grader? In a shocking upset, the elementary students won. A most memorable community service project was when the Spanish 4 class performed a complete home makeover for a recently immigrated family from Cuba. Students produced bilingual books, built handmade bookcases and toy boxes, and collected everything from pots and pans to stuffed animals to sofas and chairs to lamps and curtains to televisions and microwaves in an effort to roll out the welcome mat for a hardworking and needy family embarking on the American dream.
Move that bus! Move that bus! Move that bus! Bus driver! Move that bus!
The project was inspired by the Extreme Makeover Home Edition television show that had recently constructed a home for the Nicholas family in Holt. To the surprise of each of the students, Arlene Nicholas and family appeared on stage to personally invite the class to a party at her newly remodeled home to celebrate and honor the class's generous and memorable sacrifices. Mrs. Nicholas is not the only local celebrity to grace the stage at World Language Night. In 2006, a new World Language Night tradition was born, the introduction of the Grand Marshal. The Grand Marshal is someone of notoriety who speaks a second language and who has used that language to benefit his or her life in some way. The Grand Marshal always greets the World Language Night audience with a welcome in his or her native tongue, followed by some inspirational advice to those in attendance studying a second language. The first Grand Marshal was Lupe Izzo, Mid-Michigan's First Lady of Basketball. Subsequent Grand Marshals have included former NBA star and father of a current NBA All-Star Tito Horford of the Dominican Republic, MSU running back Jehu Kulkrick of Liberia, Hmong acting sensation Annie Her, who co-starred alongside Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino, and 2009 NCAA National Wrestling Champion and future Olympian Franklin Gomez of Puerto Rico.
Tonight, Grand Marshal from Michigan State University, Jehu Kulkrick.
The identity of the Grand Marshal is always kept secret until World Language Night, so if you're wondering who it will be this year, you'll just have to show up for yourself to find out. World Language Night often centers on a theme. In 2010, Waverly Community Schools turned 50 years old. To celebrate this milestone, the theme that was chosen was Back to the Future, Waverly Celebrates 50 Years. Real-life Waverly High grads from each of the 5 past decades appeared on stage and entered a time machine, taking them back in time to their high school days. As teenagers, they questioned and sometimes protested the constant reminders from their parents and teachers that studying their foreign language would serve them well someday. The students ignored the words of wisdom from their elders in favor of turning on the television. Throughout the evening, each decade saw 5 television mini-programs transmitted on the World Language Night special TV set, including Star Trek, Gilligan's Island, The Brady Bunch, Sesame Street, Happy Days, Cosby Show, The A-Team, Seinfeld, and Judge Judy. These 25 episodes were performed by Waverly High students in Spanish, German, French, Vietnamese, and American Sign Language. At the end of the night, the time machine returned the Waverly grads to the present, where it was revealed how foreign language study truly did enhance the lives of each time traveler. Photos and captions were projected, showing where life has taken them since graduating Waverly, including professional basketball careers, Peace Corps duty, and even marriage to spouses from other countries. The recurring message of the night was, "Study a second language. You never know where life is going to take you." The final act of the show is always the French can-can dance. Following this performance, the piñatas are lowered from the rafters in anticipation of the most highly anticipated event of the night, the results of the piñata competition. Each Spanish class in the school makes one piñata. It takes approximately 6 weeks to produce a piñata of this caliber. What does the winning class receive? Bragging rights for an entire year, which is all that is needed to motivate them to give it their all on these piñatas. The most memorable and meaningful moment of the piñata competition in World Language Night history occurred in 2009, when an enormous piñata of our own Dr. Ron Fandrick riding his motorcycle was presented. His students produced the piñata as a tribute to their teacher while Doc was fighting for his health after a life-threatening accident. Thankfully, Doc made a recovery and can now see his championship piñata every time he walks into the Waverly High School library. One of the greatest aspects of World Language Night, and all of the preparations that go into it, is that each student is able to use his or her unique individual talents and interests in a way that benefits the show. Singers sing, dancers dance, actors act. Students who have a knack for technology create amazing videos. Students skilled in engineering design impressive piñatas. Students who enjoy meeting new people go out into the community and perform acts of service. It is the epitome of teamwork, leading to a final product that is much greater than the sum of its individual parts. Each year, the world language students vow to raise the bar from their previous year's counterparts. The result? World Language Night just keeps getting bigger and better every year.